back to Legendary Arbitrage. So in my previous video, I talked about how to start selling on Amazon with no money, and how to just, you just get some products, send them to the system, get them to Amazon, and start selling. So now I want to talk to you about how to kind of streamline your process a little bit more so that you can sell more and sell things a little faster. So the first thing is the tools that you need to use, or that you should be using. The first one is Inventory Lab. Inventory Lab is a program that integrates with Amazon and you can list your products through Inventory Lab, which is so much faster than trying to list it through Amazon. When you list it through Amazon, you have to go through all these steps, and Inventory Lab already does those steps for you. So you create on Inventory Lab, basically the easiest way to do it is to create a box. So you take this box, whatever size it is, biggest one you can find, and you scan your item, scan it into Inventory Lab, you fill in the boxes, there's only a couple, how many do you have, and what do you want to sell it for, and that's it. So once you do that, you put those in the box, say you have 10, then you go to your next item. I have 7 of these, put them in, and once your box is full, then you can submit that shipment to sync it up with Amazon. Then you go back into your Amazon account where your shipments are, and then you just click the few buttons to ship it, and that's it. You have your one box done, you print your shipping label, you make your next box, and just keep going like that. The other thing about Inventory Lab is that it tracks all of your money from Amazon. So one of the biggest things that I always check is my profit and loss report, and that always tells you what your profits are, and not necessarily what your losses are, but more like what your expenditures are. So all of the fees that Amazon charges and all the shipping costs, and as long as you're putting the correct information into Inventory Lab as to how much you paid for your item, then it'll be really accurate as to what your profits are. So those are the two biggest things that I use it for. I know it has a lot of other features, and those are just some features that you're just going to have to kind of go through and see if it's something that you're going to use or not going to use or need. And I believe Inventory Lab it's either 30 or 50 bucks a month. I can't remember. It could be right in between. It could be 40. So it's between 30 and 50 bucks a month. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that I live and die by that program. So Inventory Lab is the first thing you want. The second thing you want to do is use a repricer. So when you get to a point where you have hundreds, potentially even thousands of items listed on Amazon, you're not going to be able to go in there manually and change the price to keep up with everyone else's prices every day, even multiple times a day. So I used to use a repricer called Reprice It, and that program wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. I felt like the program should be lowering the price to get me into the buy box, and also raising the price if there was opportunity to do that. And every time I checked, it wasn't living up to my expectations. So I switched over to Be Cool. It's BQOOL. And now that program costs about the same, and it is definitely doing what I want it to do. And it was easier for me to separate my books from my other products, because I kind of do the same thing with my pricing with the books, and then all my other products are all going to be different. So that's what you want to. I would use Be Cool for my repricer, and it calculates for you. So you put in what you paid for the item, then you put in what you want to sell it for, and then you put in what your lowest price would be, and you can calculate that real quick on the program without saving it, and then you'll have an idea what your profit margin will be. And the good thing about it is that it just doesn't automatically go straight to the bottom, and I've watched it actually increase and lower the price to stay competitive with the buy box. And it gives you options as well to choose if you want to stay competitive in general, if you want to compete for the buy box. It has a few options. You have to choose which one you feel is working best for you. So that is the program I use for my repricer, and I believe it works really well. I don't really ever have to make any changes. The one mistake I did make with the repricer, and I'll give you a pro tip here so that you don't make the same mistake. Lately, Amazon has been really hammering people with these quote-unquote pricing errors. And I've called Amazon about these pricing errors, and number one, they don't know what the price should be. They have no idea. And they don't know how to fix it, frankly. I've called more than once about multiple items to the point where I got so frustrated I just gave up. I recalled the item and then I sent it back, and then it was fine. So the mistake that I made though with Be Cool was I always put my max price at like, you know, $500 or $1,500 because I don't think that the price would ever get that high. So I just wanted to max out whatever the top price that the program thinks it can get. That's where I want it to go. Well, the problem with that is, like for books, for example, if I have, if my book is considered very good, if I have a book in there that's in very good condition, what I labeled it as very good, and it turns out that that's the only book that's in the very good category, then Be Cool will raise the price all the way up to $500 because it's the only one. And then, bam, here comes my pricing error. So, and you can't fix that through Amazon. You have to fix it through the Be Cool program first, because otherwise it'll just keep going round and round and you'll be fighting with it. Then you have to fix it in Amazon. Then you have to relist it. Then you have to wait to see if it worked. So don't make that mistake. Put a more realistic maximum amount for your max, and I think you can avoid a lot of issues with that. The other thing that I learned also from Amazon directly about the price is that I told them before that my item keeps getting removed for pricing error when I'm already below the lowest price. There are other people on Amazon with a price higher than mine that are still active. They could not explain to me why I was being deactivated, but they did tell me that I'm not just competing with other people on Amazon. Amazon's pricing program, or pricing artificial intelligence program that keeps doing this, is not just comparing my price to everyone else on Amazon. Excuse me, it's comparing my price to everyone everywhere in the whole world, World Wide Web. So wherever this product is listed, whether it's listed on Target, Walmart, whatever other toy selling website, or whatever other website it could be listed on, I have to be the lowest for everyone, everywhere. So I'm competing, according to Amazon, I'm competing with everyone, not just other people on Amazon. And that's a big thing, because this entire time I thought I was only competing with other people on Amazon. So that's something you have to keep in mind too with these pricing errors. They're difficult to deal with. They're hard to fix. I keep trying to fix the same ones over and over and over, and it just doesn't work. I had a product, excuse me, I'll tell you what it was. It was like an Elmer's glue, the white Elmer's glue, and I had it listed for whatever it was below. So I think the lowest price at the time was like $4 something, and I listed it for $3.99, and it got removed for being too high. So I still had room on it, so I lowered it, and it got rejected, and I just kept lowering it and lowering it. And I think I mentioned this in a previous video, but that's the product. I lowered it down to 1 cent, and it still got removed for a pricing error. And I called them. That's the product I called Amazon on. They had no explanation. They couldn't fix it. They couldn't explain it. They kept telling me, oh, well, change it to this and see what they say. And, oh, we'll submit a ticket. And the ticket says, we'll do this, and then give it another 24 hours. And you're just going in circles. Nobody knows. So, that's the thing you could run into. You could run into those products that you cannot fix. And sometimes that's just the nature of the beast. You're just going to have to deal with it. You might have to recall the product. You might have to not sell it anymore because you just don't want to deal with the headache. you're going to have to decide. You could call Amazon every single day and see if you can find someone who does have an answer. You're going to have to figure that out because it's an issue right now, I think, for a lot of people. The next thing you want to do to bring your Amazon sales to the next level is your shipping. So if you haven't noticed already, when you create a shipping plan through Amazon, it will send 3 of your products over here, 2 of your products over there, 1 of your products over there, and now it slows everything down and it makes a big headache. What you do is in Amazon, you go to your shipping settings and you can change the setting to ship to your nearest distribution center only. So now when I create a shipment, everything goes to my nearest Amazon distribution center, and then they will what they call FC transfer the products from there to the other distribution centers that they want to have it at. So it can take a while for stuff to be, I've seen stuff in FC transfer for 2 weeks, even 4 weeks. It depends. This time of year in Q4, it could be longer. So that's something to keep in mind if you feel. But I will tell you that when my stuff does get to the nearest distribution center, some of it, the stuff that's staying in this area, is instantly on Amazon and instantly available for sale. So I feel like when I send my stuff to my nearest center, it's available a lot faster. At least some of it is, if not all of it. So, and I only have to create 1 box. So through Inventory Lab, I make my 1 box and I ship it, and that's it. And I just do 1 box at a time. I grab the biggest box I have, fill it with everything that'll fit in there, and one after the other one. The next thing that I do is everything goes through UPS. And if you noticed, UPS is pretty cheap through Amazon. So what I've been doing is, because I'm at the point now where I'm sending 15 to 20 boxes, big ones, to Amazon every week. So through the UPS website, I schedule a pickup. And it's super convenient. It costs like 11 bucks. It's much easier than driving 20 boxes to the UPS store down the street. And I just leave it in the driveway as long as it's not raining, and the UPS guy comes and picks it up, no problem. If I'm here, I help him out, but that's a big help to me because I don't have time to be bringing stuff to the UPS store, and it's a lot of boxes. This time of year, it could be a long line. It's just not worth it. So for 11 bucks, it's worth it to have UPS come and pick up my stuff. So I know this video is kind of short, but I just wanted to give you some things that it took me a while to figure out to bring my sales and bring my business to the next level. Just move things just a little bit faster. I will tell you that I also bought some equipment that made everything a lot easier. I bought a Bluetooth scanner to scan my products straight into Inventory Lab, which is a lot easier than typing everything out manually. And the other 2 things I bought are the Dymo label printers. So I have 2. I have one for the labels for the shipping, and I have one for the labels for the Amazon labels that go on the products. So those are the 2 things you might want to invest in. They're a little expensive, but at the end of the day, you're saving a lot more money than trying to print it on your printer at home, because those labels that go into your printer are not cheap. The ink is not cheap. And it's the same with the labels for the Amazon labels for your products. Those labels aren't cheap, and the ink runs out really fast, and ink isn't cheap. So these things are so much better. I save myself a ton of money right off the bat by getting those products. So, you know, you got to use Inventory Lab, use Be Cool, spend some money, invest in products that you can use, the label makers and the scanner, and things are going to start going a lot faster for you. And the faster that you can get stuff out the door, the faster it'll sell and the more you can send in. So just remember that. And if you have any questions or want to make any comments, please leave some comments, and be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you.